On episode 254 of He Said, She Said movie reviews, we take a look at the movie, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Welcome to He Said, She Said movie reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie tastes take a quick, spoiler-free look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April.
What a delightful movie.
So we didn't get there in time to see any of the previews on this movie, so we'll skip over those previews. What do you give this one, April?
You know, I'm going to give this one a solid, I think, a 3.5.
Nah, I'm going with a 3. I thought it was pretty decent. The storyline, this is when her family moves from the city to the suburbs. 11-year-old Margaret navigates new friends, feelings, and the beginning of adolescence.
It brought back a lot of memories. I think what's interesting, obviously, the director is Kelly Fremon Craig.
I believe this is her second directing thing. She did The Edge of 17.
She did. She's also the writer with Judy Blume. And before we hit the stars, I want to mention producer James Brooks, who we love, and his daughter Amy. He did this with. And also, Tim, who was the other?
I'm not sure who the
producer. It was, that's right, Julie and Elle. That's right. So I want to give credit there because they all worked together to create a pretty sweet movie, I think.
Do you want to do the cast?
Sure. Obviously, you've got Abby Ryder Fortson. She was amazing. I look forward to watching her in the future. Rachel McAdams, Kathy Bates. Who else do you want to talk about, Tim?
Benny Safdie, Elle Graham, Amira Alexa Price, Katherine, Mallen, Kupferer, Kate MacCluggage, Aidan, Wojtak-Hissong. Man, there's some names I am just butchering on
Yeah, we
this
want to
one.
get Moose's name right, though. He did a good job.
And Landon as Baxter.
That's right. This was very well cast, everybody. Should we get into what it's about?
Well, the theme on this one is if you're not familiar with the book, and yes, I have to freely admit that I did read this book as a young 14-year-old boy because a girl I was interested in wanted me to read it. So I read the book when I was 14. So, but the theme of this is basically, well, in this one, it was interesting because I don't remember the book having the religious undertones that this movie had, but this one had. It's a coming of age. It's a girl's coming of age book.
It is, and it's a mixture between, obviously she's figuring out life, other kids, girlfriends, her body, her family, and you throw religion in there as well. It's she's figuring out a lot.
Yeah, which I thought was very interesting that they tackled that in a movie. But with the time, once again, it was a long time ago that I read the book, so maybe that whole religious undertones and what am I doing and where am I going with this was part of it, because the name of the book was Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. So
right, and I also love the relationship between the mom and the daughter. Both actresses were phenomenal and had an ease about their relationship that I really respected, but I loved the relationship with her and her grandmother, with Kathy Bates. They just loved each other, and it reminded me a lot of the relationship between my daughter and my mom, and it just makes you feel good.
Yeah. I love that you had several generations in this movie. So the mother and the daughter and the mother and and of course for her, it was her mother-in-law that Kathy Bates was, but it was a very interesting movie.
And I love the production design. Like everything looked within the time.
Yeah. It was set in the 70s.
Yeah. I love that. Even the clothes, Tim.
Right.
It was just, and every little thing, even with the little girls friendship club, we must increase our bust. I thought that was spot on.
That's the only thing I remember from the book.
It was just really, it was just about literally a coming of age. It was heavy on the part of religion and maybe some family issues, but light as far as her. and her
Well, the thing with the
relationships.
religion is you had a Jewish father and a Christian mother,
Right.
and trying to decide how to raise their child or within those religious boundaries. So
Right.
it was interesting in that aspect. The direction I thought was great. I think she did a really good job. Which is the acting.
Oh, I thought the acting was spot on. I even enjoyed some of the dialogue. I mean, I laughed out loud, but more it's just the essence of adolescence, puberty, the awkwardness of it all that I thought kind of made this a little bit groundbreaking.
Well, and I thought they did a really good job with the touches of humor that they put into this movie.
They did. And
even though there was some serious subject matter.
Yeah. And that's Judy Blume. Judy Blume, just, having benefited growing up with so many of her books. I don't know. It was just, in me, it was worth it. So.
No special effects.
No.
I don't remember the score much. Do you remember the score?
You know what? A little bit. It was light. It was on the light side. And maybe they did that on purpose.
Right. Pace?
For me, because it was about so much of the younger, littler relationships, I think it was supposed to be a little bit slow. Whatever it did pulled me in. I didn't catch myself thinking about anything else. I mean...
What about story arc? Were you satisfied with the story? To me, and we talked to a couple younger women when we walked out of the movie, and they were a little. They thought it ended abruptly.
It did, but and we don't do spoilers. But the ending, I think, was what it should have been. That's the thing.
Right.
The more I thought about it last night after we left.
Okay. To me, I was, and this is why I gave it a 3, and I was a little, I think there were unanswered questions and stuff at the end of the movie, like the religion thing. What was Margaret's decision? Where was she going with it? You know what I mean? That never got answered. And even though they brought it up and it was a big part of the movie. So I don't know. Anyway, so this was Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I gave this 3 stars, and April gave it 3.5 stars.
And you need to see it. We need to support some of our favorite authors in the past, their books, but especially when they turn it into a movie, and they did great with the casting, the dialogue, and let's celebrate family too. By seeing movies like this.
And when we're going to talk about where we saw this movie?
Absolutely. I want to do a shout out for Williamsburg, Virginia. They were the most welcoming town for us. From the best frozen, Tim and I love frozen custard. Many people that know us know this. Best we've ever had in our life was Meadows. We ate well in Colonial Williamsburg. We got to do Yorktown. Just the seafood, the oysters, to
the pancakes.
Oh,
I've never seen so many pancake houses in one city. Williamsburg, Virginia must have at least 30 pancake houses.
This is so true. And by the way, I had some incredible pancakes along the way, but I've never in my life seen so many pancake houses. That is so true, Tim. But we just loved the city. We stayed at an amazing inn. What was the name of our inn, Tim?
Inn 605.
That's right. It is Inn 605. It is right near William and Mary. We were blessed to walk a couple blocks and see this beautiful college our niece goes to. We got to see her. We just had such a good time.
All right. Well, thanks again for listening to the podcast. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day, and we'll see you at the movies.
We will see you at the movies. And thanks. Stay healthy, stay happy, and thanks everybody for your support. We appreciate you.